Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're having a good day, and if not, I hope I can make it a little better. Here is my sketchbook tour or flip through of all the illustrations and swatches I made whilst trying out the Diamine Inkvent 2024 Advent Calendar. If you're curious to see the process videos of any of the pictures you see, please feel free to look in the description box below where I've got a link to the day one video and you can sort of click through from there. And maybe we can also discuss whether we think the Advent Calendar was good value for money. Though Day 2 Wilted Rose was only a standard ink, which means it didn't have any sort of special effects like glitter or sheen, I actually really enjoyed using it. Because it was so simple, it was really easy to get traditional artist effects with it. It had great tone variety. And it was also quite a nice colour. It felt like an artist's colour with that brick red. And because I like the colour, I think it would also be a really great ink to write with if you just want a standard ink, something simple and not too harsh, because sometimes the traditional fountain pen inks of black and navy blue can be a little bit bold and harsh on the eye. Sometimes you want something a bit subtler. Wilted Rose definitely fulfills that need. Day 3 Noble Fur felt like Christmas in a bottle, a bright, almost lurid green, absolutely loaded with silver glitter. It really reminds me of glitter gel pens. Day 4 Forest Ghetto was the first of the scented inks, which made me really excited because I had no idea that Diamine made scented inks. It smelt like cherries, which is a nod to its name, which is in itself a nod to Black Forest Ghetto, my favourite cake. But sadly, I have to let you know that the scent has already faded. Luckily, it is a gorgeous purpley plum. I found it really great as another artist ink, as I was able to get lots of good tones with it, and I think I'll enjoy writing with it too, because it really is a luscious colour. Day 5 Icy Lilac is a cute, dreamy glitter lilac ink, and hopefully you'll agree that I made a cute, dreamy picture of Princess Tutu with it. It's one of my favourite illustrations that I'm going to show you today. Day 6 Cranberry was a real shock to me, as it was my first ever sheen ink. And as you can see, a sheen ink is an ink which is two colours really. When you let it down with water, you get the base colour, but when you use it neat, you get an almost metallic sheen of a different colour on top. This one being a cranberry colour ink with a greeny gold on top. I really like it as a writing ink. I think it will be fun to use, but I didn't really enjoy using it as an art ink, and I think that shows in the illustration, which is my least favourite out of all I've done during this journey. Day 7, Lemon and Lime, was possibly the most divisive ink out of all the inks in this calendar, as a lot of people did not enjoy how pale it was. I, however, did quite like it, as I like the glitter in it. However, I do appreciate it is quite pale. There are only going to be certain times when you're going to want to write in an ink this pale, and because of its pallor, you can't create the same amount of depth as you could with a darker ink. I do, however, really like it and want to find a way to use it. My relationship with Day 9 Wishing Tree continues to evolve. I think if it had been a standard ink, I would not have enjoyed it so much, as it still reminds me of the colour that water goes when you wash your dirty brushes in it after doing a watercolour or ink painting. However, I can also appreciate the amount of depth I managed to achieve with the ink. What wins me over is the glitter in it. It's a lovely green aqua colour glitter, and I still don't know if I love or hate it. Do you have a colour or art supply that always gives you that feeling? You think you don't like it, but yet you keep returning to it. I think that's going to be me with the Wishing Tree. Day 10 Chilly Nights is almost exactly like a Diamine ink I already have, with a dark blue base and loaded with silver glitter. It's good to know that when I run out of that one, I have a replacement ready and waiting to go. I loved the high sheen of Day 11 Grotto, however it was a really runny ink. I know all inks are liquid, however some inks are liquidier than others, if you understand what I mean. When an ink is really runny, it will flow out of your pen faster, making it harder to control how you write. You can end up with some really blotchy, thick writing, which is not great if you're looking for something dainty or you only have a limited amount of space. Day 12 Snow Globe is another fun blue ink with glitter in it, this time with a bright blue aqua glitter. I can't wait to get writing with it. It really feels like magic. Day 13 Lullaby is another standard ink, this time in a gentle, subtle fuchsia. I really enjoyed working with it, as I think you can tell from the picture. I always think an ink that you like turns into a better picture than an ink that you're not enjoying. I maybe would have liked it slightly darker when using it as an art ink, so I could have got a greater variety in tones, but I do like the variety of tones I was able to achieve with it, and I think it creates a cute writing ink too. Day 14's Mint Twist is the cooler toned, more glamorous cousin to Day 3's Noble Fur. The cool green is matched beautifully with a cool green aqua glitter instead of the louder silver of Noble Fur. I think I prefer it because it does feel a bit more high class. There was something a bit brassy and garish about Noble Fur, whereas Mint Twist feels elegant. I'm really looking forward to write with it. It actually turned out to be quite a good art ink too. Day 15's Sleigh Ride feels like the epitome of a sheen Christmas ink, with a lovely pinky red base and a metallic green sheen on top. Day 16 Tundra was another standard ink, and I think a good alternative for anybody who doesn't like the harshness of black inks. The one issue I had with it was once I'd got water in my brush, I found it near impossible to achieve darker tones with the ink. The water just washed it out, no matter how much I dried it. I ended up having to hatch over the top using my pen. Day 17's Winterberry is the perfect partner for Day 3's Noble Fur. This time it is a bold, bright red with red glitter inside. I can just imagine the Christmassy potential these two inks have together. I absolutely love the combination of sheen and ink colour in Day 18's Vibe. The intensity and gorgeousness of the aqua ink combined with the plum red sheen is gorgeous. I can't wait to write with it. Day 19 Fruit Cocktail was possibly the most hated ink out of all the inks in this year's calendar because a lot of people hated the scent. Yes, it was another scented ink, and yes, it was supposed to smell like fruit cocktail, but it kind of smelled like generic cheap fruit candles. You know the kind. I didn't mind the smell, and it has already faded, a lot like Berry Gâteau. However, the biggest sin that this ink had for me was how liquidy it was. It was another one that flowed far too fast and created really chunky writing, whether I wanted it to be chunky or not. Not great if you're trying to control how you write. Day 21 Cosmic Glow was another beautiful, intense, high sheen ink. This time, the purple plum sheen is with a deep blue. It's just like the bluest blue I've ever seen. I really can't wait to write with it because I think it's a beautiful combination. I'm probably not going to art with it because I found the blue too intense. It was really difficult to water it down to get lighter tones, but I think it would be amazing to use as a lining ink in maybe a fantasy or a sci-fi illustration. What do you think? I think the purple and blue would be perfect together. Day 22's Nutmeg is another great ink for those of you who don't like the brashness and intensity of black ink. It's a lovely cool brown with gold glitter, kind of like a muted bronze. whereas Day 23's Pine Needle is perfect for those of you who really like frogs. It's a yellow-based green with yellowy green glitter in it. I'm really looking forward to writing with this one. It's such a fun ink. Day 24's Salted Caramel is the perfect ink if you're looking for a nice bronze. It's not metallic, it's a standard ink with glitter in, but the colour combination really works. It's a warm sandy brown with gold glitter in, and it looks ever so charming. I can't wait to write with it. And so we've made it to the final ink of the 2024 Inkvent Advent Calendar, Day 25, Good Tidings. And this was supposed to be an extreme sheen ink. It's a really intense purple. I cannot express to you how intense that purple is. The lightest you can see of my swatch is literally just me using the brush after I'd attempted to wash the purple out of it, to no success. And the sheen, I'm assuming, is supposed to be a gold, but I'm afraid it's barely there. This was the big prize ink. It was in a 30mm bottle, whereas the other bottles were all 11mm, so I suppose sample size. This one was like the gift, the full-size bottle, and I think 30mm is the smallest of the full-size bottles you can actually buy from Diamine. And I have to say, it's my least favourite out of all the inks. I even like it less than Fruit Cocktail, which leaked everywhere and smelled like cheap candles. I feel disappointed in that when you write with it, it basically looks like a black. You can barely see the purple because it's so intense, and the sheen isn't there. I think the one redeeming feature is how gorgeous it looks in the art with the wash I created, but I cannot express to you how much water was used to create that wash. I literally created that wash using just the dirty brush water I'd used when desperately trying to wash the ink out of my brush. I have no idea how I would be able to shade or paint with it. I think it's just too intense. I know it sounds silly to complain about an ink being too intense, but I think when it's so intense that all you can see is black or nearly black, they've maybe got the balance a little bit wrong. Please let me know, what do you think about Good Tidings Day 25? Do you like how intense it is, how almost black it is, or would you have preferred a different bottle in the larger size? I do look forward to creating that wash again, but I think it's going to be really difficult to recreate, so cross your fingers for me. And at last we get to the big question. Do we think this advent calendar was worth the money? It is not a cheap one. In the UK, it costs between £85 and £90, and of course if you wanted to get it in a different country you would have to include import charges on that. I appreciate entirely that that's a lot of money to splurge on an advent calendar, but you know what? I would say I do think it is good value for money. When you do the maths, each bottle comes to around £3.40, and if you look on the Diamine website for glitter and shimmer inks, when you do the maths on those as well, because they don't do inks in the 11mm size, they do come to around the same price. So you're definitely not getting swizzled by paying extra for the inks coming in an advent calendar form. Of course, what does matter is whether you actually like the inks. If you didn't like a lot of the inks, then the calendar isn't worth the money. If you did like the inks, then it was worth the money. I quite enjoyed the fact that I was forced to use inks I would never normally buy, and then discovered that I actually really liked them and look forward to using in the future. I think that is the joy of a good advent calendar, being presented with products you wouldn't normally use and discovering that you do like them. Though of course, if you don't like that random nature of advent calendars, then this possibly isn't the advent calendar for you. If £85 is a huge dent in your wallet, and let's be honest, it really is. I don't think I would have been able to have afforded this calendar if it hadn't been gifted to me. Then you do have to be aware that not all the inks will be to your liking. You have to decide if that investment is worth the risk. Please let me know in the comment section below if you thought the advent calendar was worth the money. I'm really curious. I definitely enjoyed the experience, and I think that is a big part of this advent calendar. And I definitely feel like I met new people and have joined a new ink community, and I can't wait to use more inks in the future because I have lots and I can't wait to share them with you. Well, thank you for making it to the end of the video with me. I'd love to know what your favourite part was. If you could leave a comment in the comment section below. If you could like, subscribe, turn on all notifications and share this video, that would be amazing. You can follow me at Enchanted Violin on Instagram, TikTok and Threads. Links will be in the description box below, as well as links to my online comic companions, my Patreon and more. And I'll see you next time for another video. Bye!